Mrs. Skerrit delivered the welcome remarks at Friday's official opening ceremony of the 6th meeting of the OECS Council of Ministers held at the State House Conference Center.
You are here to address important issues such as climate change, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the ongoing war in Ukraine, and their potentially negative impact on our food security, both at the national and the regional levels. The issue of food security, though always at the forefront of policy and decision-making in our region, is becoming increasingly relevant and concerning due to the factors which threaten access to safe, healthy foods. Your role as agriculture ministers, therefore, takes on even greater significance as we seek solutions to challenges that we now face. As an advocate for home farming, nutritional balance, sustainable living, and climate resilience, I am a staunch supporter of measures to ensure the sustainability and longevity of our people's food systems. I seek in whatever ways and means that are at my disposal to educate and to elevate my constituents in the city of Roseau, Dominicans at large, and by extension, all Caribbean nationals in their pursuit of independence in all facets of our economy and lifestyle. Food security is of paramount importance in our efforts to maintain healthy and thriving populations and economies. And as leaders, let us be proactive in our planning and our endeavors to secure safer futures for our people.
The Roseau Central MP called for a renewed determination to making the critical decisions which will pay off long term.
We are at a juncture where we can preempt possible detrimental effects to our food, fisheries, and agriculture system, and in doing so, circumvent them. Let us therefore put all the necessary resources and efforts towards this issue that will inevitably compromise our ability as a region to feed our people. Why should there be hunger and deprivation in any land, in any city, at any table, when man has the resources and the scientific know-how to provide all mankind with the basic necessities of life? And Martin Luther King Jr. said, there is no deficit in human resources. The deficit is in human will. And let it not be said that we saw the signs, we had the means, but that we lacked the will.
The Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit drew the attention of the agriculture ministers to the seriousness of the times in which they find themselves as leaders in their country's agriculture sector.
Ministers, you convene in Dominica during a period of upheaval globally, which threatens to destabilize our small economies and further burden our populations. Our countries, we know, are particularly vulnerable to the impact of climate change. Extreme events such as hurricanes, which have become more frequent, more forceful, and more unpredictable, are wreaking havoc on our food and agricultural systems and our marine environment. We are also faced with inflation and high fuel costs due to the war in Ukraine, while we contend with the fallout from the impact of COVID-19 on the tourism, agriculture, and small business sectors. All of these circumstances have immediate and long-term implications for the social and economic well-being of our peoples here in the region. With no end in sight to the woes that plagues our small states, we must think seriously of ways to shield our economies from external shocks and protect food production in our region.
The Prime Minister highlighted the critical role that agriculture plays in the very survival of these developing states.
As policymakers, we are tasked with providing support for our food, agriculture, and fisheries sectors, and addressing supply issues, sourcing new markets within our common space and internationally, and enhancing food security. Agriculture remains an important element of our socio-economic development in Dominica. Up to 21% of the country's workforce is employed in the sector. Across the region, agriculture accounts for approximately 16% of overall employment. A thriving agriculture sector will create more jobs, raise incomes, improve health outcomes, and position our economies for greater success in the coming years.